Yeah.
That's Dave Chappelle we talking about.
Listen, Dylon, you're a fool.
Dylon.
As we start this episode,
We back. Sorry.
Before Dante gets to the introductions, what we're talking about is we're not going to spend too much time on it. Welcome to the Educated Brothers podcast. Dylon from the band,
Making the band.
No, but the group was called the band.
I thought they were called. I thought their full name was like a Tribe Called Quest. I thought it was called Making the Band.
No.
Like that was their name. No.
Hell no. The group was DABAND.
Oh, okay.
The band.
Duh.
No, duh.
Not the.
Like Dutch. Da.
Band. Da band.
Da band. So Dylon from Da Band.
Put a little accent over the A. Da band.
Yeah. He did an interview recently when he was basically saying that he didn't appreciate Chappelle like making fun of him so much. Mm-hmm. And it irritated me a little bit because, yeah, Dylon's part stuck out a little bit more because obviously, you know, who's the five greatest rappers. Don't get too close.
Let's be our fun. Don't get too close. You're too close, man. You're too close.
But I think it's a cultural difference because people don't realize that a lot of the shit that Chappelle was making jokes off of was based off of shit that he actually did on the show.
That's what makes it hilarious.
That's what made it funnier. So,
satirically, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So, and all the rest of them who got made fun of on the show leaned into it. I remember vividly Chappelle back in the day, and I can fact check myself, so I can't confirm this. But I remember him saying he actually originally invited all of them on the show, and Dylon was the only one who said no. Well, excuse me, Dylon and Fred were the only ones who said no. Chopper was there, Ness was there, Babs was there, Sarah was there. Yeah. Fred and Dylon, the only two who said no. Fred wasn't the type of person who would strike me as, oh, I'm going to do some comedy shit. Yeah. But Dylon definitely should have leaned into it, and he said no. That's on you, bro. At that point, that's your fault.
See, the thing is, Chappelle was probably like, yo, if I invite all of them, I'm assuming one of them won't show, and whoever don't show, I'll play that character. So clearly, Dylon doesn't pull up, Fred don't pull up, he has a choice. And talking about the show, which would have made the sketch funnier? Mm-hmm. Dylon.
Because
so here we are.
Fred didn't give any material while he was up there to make jokes on.
Exactly. Nobody was going to laugh at that.
He was overly aggressive, and all he wanted to do was fight. So Fred used to remind me like a fucking pit bull. Every time you see him, he just like, like, why the fuck is you growling,
Every
Fred?
group needs an enforcer, son.
Yeah, and it's always the small one, because he was the smallest nigga in the group.
We was just talking about small dogs having that problem, so
that's how
it's the same shit.
But on that note, welcome to the Educated Brothers podcast.
Hell of an introduction.
Before we get into ourselves, shout out to Bravery Studios. Shout out to Marv in the back.
Bravery up. If y'all don't follow them on IG right now. Bravery Studios NJ. Right, Marv?
Listen.
Perfect.
Listen, I got to bring it up. Marv, that ad y'all posted the other day was fire.
Yo, son, you saw all the rooms. I was like, that's our room right there.
I'm like, we're being well represented. But shout out to all the other podcasts at Bravery Studios.
Najee, damn, the whole studio. I hate when you put me on blast because I
listen,
names.
You started naming names. I didn't want to do that to you.
It's cool, but shout out to the whole Bravery Studio. And now everybody that we see afterwards, they go like, you motherfucker, you.
Listen, we're going to jump right into the next topic.
That's what you split it. You cut out the whole first part right there.
So, but yeah, listen.
We here.
Everybody's family. We've been here. We ain't going nowhere. It's. I love it here.
Yeah. I don't want to go nowhere.
We ain't gonna go nowhere. Klarna, stop playing. We trying to get sponsors so we can put everybody on. Stop playing.
For real though.
Stop playing, Klarna.
Bravery up. You know what I'm saying? But real talk, if you don't follow them, make sure you do. Bravery Studios NJ on Instagram. Shout out to our boy Marv. He just did a promo video not only for the studio, but he was out at an event. He was doing other things with the podcasters out there. His Instagram, I believe, Marv, correct me if I'm wrong, is the King of Podcasts, right? Yeah, so check him out too. He does a lot of work. We were just talking before we started shooting. Big things are going to be happening for Bravery.
I want to take some of the pressure off of you not remembering people's names because I'm doing the same thing right now. But this is how big Bravery is. Shout out to my boy Eric. So, one of my best friends from middle school is actually on a podcast here.
Seriously?
That popped up yesterday on my fucking page. I'm like, oh shit.
We talk about the full circle moments. They happen a lot, son.
Yo, shout out. I don't know I'm sorry in advance. I don't know the name of the podcast.
But we can put it on there. We can
definitely.
We gonna,
once we chop this up,
y'all know how we do. It's gonna be
right there. But yeah, I'm like, my boy E was here. I think that was like 2 days ago. He shot the episode here. So I'm like, oh shit.
See,
he bravery fan,
told
bro.
you his family here.
So
son.
yo, man, listen. You know, life's
it's a circle.
It's a circle.
It's a circle. But, speaking of circles, and you brought this up, yes. I'm doing well.
Okay.
You know, I really want to get more into something that I saw because I know you felt very passionate about.
Is it going to get me riled up?
Nah. This is actually a good one.
Okay.
This will be good depending on what side of the coin you on. So we talked about Klarna before.
Yes.
We talked about Klarna like getting rid of stuff because they're in so much debt and all these things. So I was doing some research and I found out that FICO is actually going to be looking at your scores for the Afterpay stuff. So Klarna, Affirm, all those things. So for people like you and myself who pay their stuff on time, this can actually help your credit score.
I love it.
And they're starting to do like other stuff like to umbrella it, but that's a start. Because the FICO score, for those that aren't familiar, that's very important for things like if you want to get a house, if you want to get a car. Like that's the hard, when they do the hard lookup, as they call it, the FICO score is what they look into. So if you've paid your Klarnas on time, your Affirms, whatever other Afterpay Afterpay is actually one that's on there. The one that you pay later situations, it's actually going to positively or negatively affect your credit score. So if you do pay it on time, keep it going because you're going to get some benefits. If you don't, you might want to turn over that new leaf because Klarna is the easiest one to start with, like in terms of like building your credit.
Affirm's
if they going to do that,
Affirm's good too.
If they going to do it and you got and you trying to rebuild your credit, bro, start because you could get Klarna with anything. Go on Amazon, get a $20 shirt, put it on Klarna, $5. And again, everybody's different, but I'm saying like if you want to build your credit score, now is actually the best time to try to do it. Start with something small and build your shit up because again, credit might not get talked about a lot, but it's real important for things like houses, cars, especially people who want to get into real estate. Like you need to have a good
in this country,
score.
if you don't have credit at all or good credit,
facts.
It's your resistance is basically pointless.
Facts.
And I'll say this: anybody who has a problem with that affecting your FICO score, you're an idiot because it's so manageable to pay that shit back. Because they give you options. If you can't full on pay big amounts, they'll literally give you the smallest fucking amount to pay the shit back. All right, you can't pay it all up front quick. Yeah, we're going to put a little bit of interest on it, but give us $50 a month.
Boom.
And now at that point, if you can't afford that, then you shouldn't be using it.
You shouldn't be using
it. But for people like me who can utilize that shit, and when I heard that news the other day, I'm like, yes!
Dog, I was excited because I don't really use it as often like with a lot of things, but I'm going to start. My girl getting me into more like, like use it for like, if you want to get like hella clothes and shit like that, like use Klarna because if let's say the clothes amassed to $200, you do 4 Klarna payments is $50. And Klarna got a thing where if you want to pay it ahead, you could go ahead and pay it ahead.
It's them helping themselves, but while also helping us because we brought it up a few episodes ago because they were losing so much money because people weren't paying it. But this now puts them in a position to where they're like, okay, instead of us just getting rid of it, we will help you guys out if you pay this shit on time.
That's it.
Because
now there's an incentive.
Exactly. Because prior, it wasn't a hard inquiry towards your credit, but it did affect it only if they had to put any type of interest towards it.
Correct.
So if you used it and were paying it off without any interest, it was kind of pointless. Because that's basically you saying you had the money, you just wanted to break it up.
Yeah.
But if you paid it and you didn't fully have the amount and they had to tag interest on it, as long as you paid it off on time, it was already not like a crazy amount, but it was already boosting your credit score up a little bit anyway. So that's why people ask me like, yo, do you always have to use it? No. Yeah. But it made sense for me to use it.
The way that I look at it is like this. Like, it's like a gift card, right? Like, if you want to go to the store and you want to go get a meal and the meal come out to $20, you can pay the $20 or you can give yourself a little bit more flexibility and pay it off. Now, when we talk about being responsible, because like, let's say your payments, again, going back to the $200, if your payments are $50 and you can't pay the $50, now you need to rethink about other things, like, because if you can't pay the $50 a month, now it's, are you living outside your means? Are you doing too much? Because listen, I'm not here to check nobody's pockets. You buy what you buy, you do what you do. I don't really give a fuck. But at the same time, if you're one of those people who are like, nah, but I don't want them to check my FICO score, my next question is going to be why. I hope they do, because I'm sitting here like, yo, I've already been rebuilding my credit and it's good, but it could be better. You telling me something like this can help? Come on, son.
That goes into another topic. And I hate to stereotype. You saying that just falls into the line of people from the hood not knowing any better, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call them ignorant.
Good job.
But
I'm happy.
But in the definition of the word, all ignorant means is not knowing.
You don't know something. Again,
so
agreed.
My thing is, it's not ignorant in the form as being demeaning, but I'll call you ignorant if I tell you something, prove to you what I'm saying to you is right, and you still choose to be like, nah. Listen. And we're both from it. You feel me? It's well known and documented that people from urban areas usually try to stay away from things that affect your credit.
Correct.
Because the mindset is once you can't use it, it's going to be bad. No, just set yourself up to shit that you know that you can handle. Doesn't have to be crazy things. The mistake, and I'm not going to act like I'm perfect.
We've all made mistakes.
My first credit card, I fucked that shit up.
Listen, we don't even got to talk. My first one, my father put me on to. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you one with the lowest amount, and we'll see where it goes from there." I'm talking about the first week, nigga went to the mall, went everywhere. I was like 18. I went everywhere. Came back 2 days later to my pops like, yeah, so what happens if you get like really close to the limit, like, and you can't use it no more? He's like, yeah, you got to pay that off. Bro, I was working at my nonprofit after school job where I was making probably $12 an hour. That shit took forever to bring back down.
My mistake was, right, my first credit card, I was 21. The limit was $250. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'll spend, and I knew. How
bad could that be?
Yeah, I didn't max that one out because I'm like, it's $250, and I had already know from the person who I opened it up with, basically put me on like, yo, don't wild out with it, spend a percentage of it, and then just pay that shit off. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I didn't wild out. It was only $250 anyway.
That's not, yeah. What you gonna ball out with $250?
When they increased that shit to $1,500. I was out here, bro. Like, yo, you got money. Nah.
Drinks on me.
We using AC every other weekend.
Damn, Sean making a lot of money now, so we everywhere.
Nigga, I was making $12.50 an hour. Nigga, I did not have it. Bro, I did not have it.
I will say that's the one thing that in terms of like the school system that I'm the most upset about.
They don't teach you that.
They don't teach you like financial literacy. Like it used to be a thing. Like, but that's back when they had like home ec was a thing.
Listen,
mechanics with like shop class. All of that was a
The
thing.
fact they don't do that shit now just blows my mind. They don't. Like, I know how to sew, and I'll never forget how not to sew. Yeah. Now, granted, I don't remember how to use the machine, but you give me a thread and some needle.
I know how to use the needle.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, but let's be real.
I stitch some shit up real fast.
I stitch the shit out of a pillow. That's about all I got. Son, I get me a nice pillow, little square.
I got a button.
I know I make a fluffy gingerbread man.
Yo, if you got a hole in your jeans, I sew that bitch up for you right now.
That's I'm cut off.
Bro, nigga, I did all 3 years of sewing, dog.
I did one.
See?
And I remember the teacher's name. Her name was Miss Udu. UDU.
That was at the high?
That was at the high school.
Okay.
Don't ask me why I remember certain teachers' names over others, but hers is one of those like it's hard to forget, like Miss Udu. Like that was really her name, and she was cool as shit though.
Listen, let's keep it real. You only remember the teachers' names from the impact they had on you.
Yo, that is very true, son. Because not even necessarily an impact, but I can say
even
like,
if it's negative or bad.
I was about to say, because
that's still impact.
Because I was talking to Thanos about this, and she was like, "Yo, you remember your good teachers?" I was like, "Yeah." Like I ran out a list of all of them. She was like, "All I remember the ones that got on my nerves."
And that's still impact. So they made some type of impact, and you remember that shit. Yeah. You don't remember the teachers that was just like
your teacher.
Like, because we had a Spanish teacher who literally didn't help us. You asked me his name, I couldn't tell you.
I had a French teacher, and the crazy part is I took her class 2 years, but I don't remember her name. She was cool, but like it's not that she wasn't, like there wasn't much of an impact, but it really wasn't. Like, good or bad. Like, it was just, I know I took French, and I know I didn't do very well, and that's why I had to take it 2-3 years. I didn't take it 2-3 years because I was very good at it.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Garçon Dante.
It's like, when I tell you, once I realized college looked at languages, that's when I started to take French a little bit more seriously. But that's also when I learned about myself.
Oh, dumbass trying to get rid of that.
Yeah. Please. You mean to tell me the gentleman who denies birthright citizenship is going to have a problem with you learning another language?
Was that one of the topics you wanted to bring
That
up?
wasn't, but it could be.
No. Listen, I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to be, scholars, I'm going to be mindful of my rants. I'm counting. We're 5 episodes away from my last political rant.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to chill.
Bro, you're doing very well.
I'm doing well.
I will say you're doing very well. I've expected by now for you to blow a gasket in some way, shape, or form on one of these episodes.
Because let's be real. I can inform people of what's happening without always getting upset. Because then
Proud of you.
What's happening to me is it's starting to, it was getting, I'm not going to lie. We try to be very transparent with you guys. It got to a point where I was starting to be a little bit too upset about things.
Because you were feeling emotional damage.
But my thing is, and me and Dante always speak on this, I don't like when the information is easily accessible and you're choosing not to accept it. Like, I am not the smartest person in the world. I forget shit often. As far as, like, words and things that you're supposed to read up on.
Human shit you sometimes forget. Yeah.
But at the same time, if this information is so easily attainable and you're purposely choosing not to attain it, that's where my problem comes. I'm not going to put this person's names out there because he actually has a very well-known business. We went to high school with this person. He posted something on Facebook 2 weeks ago asking, after the whole Iran incident happened, basically asking, like, why is everyone so mad that, you know, he did that? And I literally gave him 3 reasons why it didn't make sense for us to be involved in it. And I literally said the last thing was, this information was way too easy for me to find and fact check. I don't understand why you would get on Facebook and ask this question instead of looking it up yourself. And you're just citing your sources. But what it always goes back to, and it's crazy because you start to see it from the people I typically used to argue with online. It's all the people that we went to school with who did not pay attention in class. Literally.
That's stupid. Like, use your common sense.
Literally.
I love that drop.
Middle school, high school, college. If you had to write a paper, and if your paper was basically you having to, like, look up things and having to cite other sources, Dante, what do we have to do with those sources?
We had to make sure that we fact check them if we're putting them in a paper because we're saying that these things are true.
Exactly. Back in high school, we didn't, like, in college, they used to let you put that shit at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, the works cited page.
The works cited page.
Yes,
but high school, we had to have that whole ass sheet.
Yo, you had the website, the HTTP, like the whole address. Yeah.
And if it was Wikipedia, you fell.
Yep,
But,
they don't accept Wikipedia.
Except for that.
Nope.
That was our teachers in the school system basically saying, stop just believing shit you hear and prove it to yourself. What are we doing right now?
It's funny that you bring that up, too, because there was a topic that I wanted to talk about. Blends very well what you're saying.
Yes.
Did you know that the CEO of OpenAI, like the guy who originated ChatGPT and all of that stuff, he's surprised by how many people are actively following ChatGPT without doing further research. He's the creator of it. He goes on to say that AI sometimes hallucinates, like has wild visions of what could happen based on like saving itself. Like AI is not dumb, you know? So people are having therapy moments with ChatGPT, parenting advice from ChatGPT, and this is not coming from a person. It's literally coming from so this is the CEO of the entire umbrella, OpenAI. There's other things that they look over, but ChatGPT is what he specifically spoke about, to your point.
That's why the only things that I use from ChatGPT, usually ChatGPT itself will give you a source of where they've gotten it from. But like,
people use it, see what ChatGPT says, and then just
go
okay,
with
cool.
It. Yeah.
That's what it is.
And you can't do that. And I'm happy he said AI hallucinates because it's similar to what, I don't know if you watch those funny ass videos where people are like typing in certain things in AI and it'll create a video.
Yes, like a whole crazy ass story. Yeah.
This isn't funny. It's actually
Fucking
fucked
cat
up.
be sitting there and it turns to a squid monster and shit. Yeah.
This isn't funny. It's actually really fucked up. There was one that Grace showed me yesterday. This morning, excuse me. The lady is at McDonald's and she's ordering her food. And the waitress at McDonald's goes, Would you like a drink? She was like, yes. She goes, do you want ice in it? She's like, ice! We gotta get out of here.
See?
And then as she running, from nowhere, a bunch of nachos fall off of her like Sonic rings.
Yo, see?
But the video, the entire video is 100% AI.
Yeah.
So that's what they mean by AI is hallucinating.
Yeah, like, yo, it can come up, algorithms and all that. Like,
Yeah.
I understand certain things. For example, I'll use iRobot as an example. There's a point from where I'm going with this. iRobot was a movie.
Yeah.
Directors, actors, producers, executive producers, whoever you ask in Hollywood or film, theater, they'll tell you the things that you see are derived from what could be or has happened, just kind of like extrapolated. So it's like an exaggerated experience of what it can be. So when iRobot came out, what was that, 2006?
Yeah, I think so.
We were talking about these animatronic robots and red lights and all of that stuff, and everybody was like, yo, this movie is crazy. Now they're coming out with robots who are boxing. They're coming out with robots who are playing chess with people. And it's all well and good. And I'm no future teller. Fortune teller? Teller of the future. That's what we'll go with.
All three of those work.
They work, right? But what I will say is I am observant to what happens around me. So even though iRobot might be like an exaggerated thing that could happen, bro.
You never know.
You never know, son.
Listen,
You never know, son.
I laughed. None of y'all saw it because Marv took the camera off me, but I was about to say fortune cookie.
You're so annoying. And I'm glad Marv did that. It's because he knows when you're going to do your bullshit.
I tried to hold it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But,
I tried.
Listen, utilize what's at your fingertips the right way. Don't 100% put your all into anything.
Nah.
Fact check everything, man.
Please.
Because they're purposely trying to keep us misinformed so we can believe the stupid shit that's going on. Like, you know what's funny? It's not a rant because I'm not yelling, but we somehow stuck on the fucking topic anyway.
Nah, rants don't have to be yelling.
They don't.
Rants just mean that you keep going.
Would this count as a rant?
It depends on what you're about, like how you're going to segue. If you're segueing back to what your original point was, then absolutely, this is going to be a rant.
50 Cent.
That's crazy. I really don't like that guy.
Go ahead.
You had other topics.
I thought you was about to do your bullshit, but nah, it's something else that you talked about too. It's crazy how many full circle moments actually happen on this episode on episodes period that we don't plan. Because you talked about living within your means, back to Klarna, right? Like doing what you need to do. You've seen that interview with Simone B, saying that now she no longer can shop at Bloomingdale's.
What's
and
her
she's
real
got to go
name?
to H&M. I don't.
Nah, as
Simone.
Nah, she's from Wild 'N Out. She gets on my fucking nerve, bro, because...
Is this the same person or someone different?
I know exactly when her dumb ass said
Is
I
it
couldn't...
I think it's B.
Simone. There you go.
It's not Simone.
When she said, "Oh, we were at
Bloomingdale's," and she's like, "I looked at my account and I was like, I had to go to H&M." The first thing I thought of, you seen white chicks.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of was that I had to go to freaking H&M.
Listen,
like, bro, what are we talking about here? She was like about to be in, but you know what it also is? I've never been in that tax bracket. So to me, it's hilarious because...
Don't excuse that shit.
No. Bro, there's no excuses here. All I'm saying is I don't have the vision of that. But what I'm saying is, it's to the point of Klarna. Bro, you go to H&M, you go to Bloomingdale's, you go to Marshall's, you go to Kohl's. Who the fuck cares? The reason why I laughed is because she was brought to tears to say, oh, now I have to live differently. I can't shop at Bloomingdale's. It's like, yo, if that ain't the most first world problem I've ever heard in my entire life.
So let's bring it back. Let's bring it back because I know you don't know this. Let's bring it back. And this is why I was going to say, what was that Family Guy episode?
The bird is the word.
B. Simone's a fucking bird. And
I think she's also a terrible friend too.
she's a bird, bro. You know why? You know what makes her a bird? This had to been like 4 or 5 years ago. She did another type interview like that. She started off making skits and stuff. She blew up. Nick Cannon caught it. He put her on Wild 'N Out.
Yeah.
She was really successful and funny as hell on Wild 'N Out. Won't take that from her. But she didn't properly parlay all that shit into the finances that she can get from it. So she wrote a book. I don't know if you remember this.
I do. I do remember her writing a book when you said that shit.
And if I'm not mistaken, it came out that she plagiarized a lot of shit off the book.
Yeah.
So a lot of people started clowning her, and she had the same type of interview, but she's up there crying about stupid shit. So then Nick Cannon interviewed her a few months after that, and she got on camera and literally said, if you want to date her, you have to be the CEO of the company that you work in.
You ain't even the CEO of your life.
So
Like, what we
fast
talking about here?
forward. Life comes at you fucking fast. Just talk about, I had to go to H&M. What? Listen, scholars. I don't know if y'all don't shop at H&M. That shit ain't cheap.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I heard it, I was like, oh, this just sounds like somebody who's always shopped at one place and now they have to go to another. Like,
But you was just at Walmart 10 years ago. Like, don't listen.
and if you want to tell me that Bloomingdale's don't got no sales, you a damn lie. I know they got some clearance items in there.
And this is why I call her Bird. And it's not just women, men. Anybody who thinks like that, to me, is a fucking bird because you're putting people's financial value, you're equaling that with their self-worth, and you should never fucking do that. Like,
Hell no.
there's so many good-ass, genuine people in this world who are flat broke. That does not make them bad people. That should not make you want to stay away from them. Now, what killed me is when she said that to Nick Cannon all those years ago, she's constantly complaining about how she can't find a good man. But yet, you have these insane ass standards that almost nobody can compete with. And let's be real, women who typically, and I want to put this out there so y'all can hear it. Women who typically think like that and go for men who are like that are the ones who are getting dogged the fuck out.
Those are the ones that tell you, if he wants to go out there and cheat, just let him do it. He'll be all right. He'll come back home.
And then it's a mixed bag because you'll hear that, and then you'll have the ones like, I can't believe he did this to me. He was telling you the whole time he was going to do this shit to you.
He was a dog. He's been showing you since day one. You just chose not to see it, and now it's his fault.
You're a bird. What do cats and dogs like to do when little birdies fly by? They chase them. You're a bird. You are a bird.
We ain't going to go into the topic of me not feeling bad for people. When I tell you, you know what it is? Because I've ignored red flags before. But I don't go around crying about, I ignored this red flag and this person did me wrong and blah, blah, blah. No, you allow what you allow.
That nigga was in her face like it was the Olympics. He was waving the shit out that flag like, yeah!
And she's like, no, move that flag. I'm trying to see something.
Just move it. They were in that day like, what's your favorite color? Red, bitch. He was flying the shit out that flag. She couldn't see it. She couldn't see it because he was waving it too fast. You know, I have certain colors. If you put it too fast,
you can't see it.
It's a different shade. He's like, I don't see red. I see green.
Green means go, from what I'm understanding.
Listen. Hey, listen, scholars. It's been real.
Remember, live within your means.
Yeah.
Don't trust ChatGPT 110%.
And utilize Klarna.
And utilize Klarna, but be responsible. It will positively or negatively affect your FICO score.
Yeah.
So again, a couple things that we talked about today. We just wanted to highlight some shit. Y'all know how we do on our seasons. We have fun.
And Ace Bailey, take your ass to Utah.
Yo, he ain't happy. Him and his boy, not his boy, but the other dude who got up and he was with his girl and they drafted him, he was like, fuck.
Listen, you and Michael Jordan, before we got here, Michael Jordan said this a few years ago.
Jordan.
He said this a few years ago. His issue with what sports are now, because it's not just basketball, they give these kids too much at the beginning before they even reach professional status.
They talked about
it's
that.
About
NIL
time they
now.
get to professional status,
Yeah.
they're entitled and they're spoiled. I don't give a fuck how good you are. You know how fucking hard it is to become a professional athlete? Now, somebody said to me, oh, you're only saying that because it wasn't you. Yes, motherfucker. Like the fuck. They're offering it. This man is set to make. He got drafted 5th.
Yeah.
So he's going to make more than
Top
20.
5 pick, absolutely.
He's going to
Rookie
make more.
contract gonna be crazy.
Yeah, bruh. Go there.
But you know what it is?
And the deals, and the crazy shit is, the deals only last 3 to 4 years
Yeah.
now. That's
and
not
then
long.
that 4th year, you get an opt out most often.
And you young as fuck. Suck
Was
it the fuck
he
up.
19?
He's 20. Yeah, I think he's literally about to be 20.
So he's not even gonna hit his prime before he really starts having to deal with shit.
Listen, Ace, I fucked with y'all. I went to a bunch of Rutgers games. You and Dylan was fucking shit up. Even though the team wasn't good, that's not your fault.
Y'all
That was the
two did
coach's
what
fault.
y'all supposed to do, and you ain't went to the
It's the
draft
coach's
like they
fault.
supposed to.
Listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Go to Utah. Ball out. Imagine if you get Utah into the playoffs all 3 or 4 of these years.
And then you can opt out, get a max deal, bro.
Now that's more money coming your way. And here's the win-win. If you stay with Utah, they give you more money because you're staying there. But if you opt out and leave, you'll still get the same bag plus the incentives that comes with being a fucking winner in the NBA.
All-star, champion, MVP, all of that shit. Yeah,
merchandising.
yeah.
Bruh, you're going to be good. And we understand that Utah not for black people. We get it.
We know.
We know.
But, you know,
Carmelo country ass lasted.
you
You'll
know,
be aight.
yo, he was from the South.
You'll be aight. They had, I mean, it was in Salt Lake City trying to chase bulls. Like,
Hey, you do what you gotta do,
get
son.
it?
But
You
you
see
know what it
I did
is?
You chasing
Before
bulls?
we get it,
You know what I
shut
did
the
there?
fuck up. Before we get out of here, they said that that's the negatives of the NIL.
Yeah.
They said because a lot of players are experiencing higher ends of money earlier
Listen,
on,
I'm
for
not.
them it's easier to be like, oh, I don't want to do this or that. And that's when the diva shit kicks in, because it's like, oh, I was making all this money when I was at Duke. Why I got it, or at Rutgers, why do I need to work out for this team that I don't even want to go to?
I'm not mad at the NIL because it's wrong for the NCAA to make as much money
Agreed.
as they were making
Agreed.
and not basically feed these kids.
I agree.
I'm not mad at that. That comes into what happens when people are like that. That means he has the wrong people in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
His family needs to step up a little bit more and basically tell him like, "Yo, you're making a mistake." And then the friends you have around him. We talked about on First Class, Second Place. We talked about how we're in a friend group where we check each other.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You don't need to have yourself littered with yes men, because when you have yes men, this is the type of shit you do.
Yeah.
Nobody's in his ear that he really rocks with telling him like, yo, don't do this shit, bro. Go there.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be good. Like, Dante, if Klarna walked in here right now and offered me $5 million, but then you say, oh, well, a firm could potentially offer you more, but they haven't called me, you're not going to tell me to ignore that Klarna deal.
No, because I would be a terrible friend. Because what I'd be telling you is, oh, you could go for something guaranteed, or you can go for what if.
Yeah.
Because the what if can still come on down the
Now,
line.
if a firm had reached out and gave any,
Indication.
then I might, all right, let me weigh my options out.
'Cause
But there is no second option.
If there was like a 90, 100, like let's say 100% Klarna was like, oh, we'll absolutely do it. But a firm was like, yo, we'll give you a bigger bag. We just need like 2 weeks to figure it out. Klarna's like, I need an answer right now. If you're telling me there's a 90% chance, I will be that one to tell you, go for that one.
Yeah.
Because worst case scenario, you're still in the same boat that you're in now. Because you could potentially make more, but there's a good percentage. 90% is pretty fucking high.
Yes.
And if it ain't gonna be what that is, they're telling you, oh, that's 90% that we're all the way in. Okay, maybe that price quote won't work no more. But y'all were so invested, what else can we work out? And you could probably still get the same kind of thing and then work it over the years. But that's being, thinking ahead. Sometimes you gotta think a couple steps ahead. But with all that being said, Sean, you ain't going no rants today, bro. This has been a record. I just wanted to let y'all know before we get out of here. Sean hasn't gone on a rant about politics in weeks. Not even off camera, y'all. I'm very proud of him.
I feel like it holding it back is making my head bigger.
Well, as long as you don't bring it up on the episodes, we're good. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But with all that being said, remember, y'all, if you're going to use Klarna, use it responsibly. It does positively or negatively affect your FICO score. Remember, with ChatGPT, check your resources. Don't just look and see what it says and goes, oh, okay, that's got to be what it is. Do some kind of not necessarily bought in research. So not just one-sided kind of research. And then at the end of the day, don't let Sean rant about anything going on in politics, because you'll be there for hours. But with all that being said,
Listen, I still post on Facebook, so
So check them out. But remember, follow Bravery Studios NJ. Shout out to our boy Marv, King of Podcasts. You can follow him on IG as well.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that they're doing, they're going to start taking more videos, more promos for the things that they're doing. There's big things are going, if you will. So with all that being said,
I tried to say that last episode.
yeah, you should. Tings
Say
are
big,
going.
big teams.
Big things are going.
Shout out to Jules. We tried to do it, but I fucked it up. Big teams are going.
Aguan.
Big things are going.
There you go.
My patois is getting
There you
better.
go. It's getting better. So one day at a time. So. All right, y'all. So with all that being said, No Talent Beats. Play us out, brother.
No Talent Beats.
You're too close, man.
You're too close.